Hello, future engineers, subscribers, viewers, and students. Here is another video in differential calculus, particularly on the topics on derivative of and principles of logarithmic functions, derivative of exponential functions, logarithmic differentiation, hyperbolic functions, tangents and normals, and rate of change, principles of rates of change. Then part of it, we will have examples on logarithmic derivatives of logarithmic functions and exponential functions. So first, let's have derivatives of logarithmic functions. So we have the derivative of the logarithm to the base b of u is 1 over u log to the base b of e times the derivative of u with respect to x. So again, derivative of log to the base b of u is 1 over u log to the base b of e du dx. While the derivative of log to the base e of u, which is derivative of, because the base is e, ln of u, is simply, after we pattern it from here, 1 over u, log to the base e of e, which is ln of e, or 1 times du dx. Therefore, the derivative of log to the base e of u, or the derivative of ln of u, is 1 over u du dx. So derivative of ln of u is 1 over u du dx, or du dx over u. Then we have derivatives of exponential functions. So we use the results of the derivative of logarithms to derive the derivative of exponential functions. So if y is a to the u, then ln of y is ln of a to the u. Then from algebra, ln of y is equal to u ln of a, or ln of a times u. So ln of y equals u ln of a, or ln of a times u, where ln of a is constant because a is constant. So derivative of ln of y, take note from above, is dy dx over y, and copy ln of a, derivative of u is du dx. So dy dx over y equals ln of a du dx. Cross multiply, dy dx is y, and y is a to the u, ln of a du dx. So derivative of a to the u is a to the u ln of a du dx. So therefore, the derivative of e to the u is equal to e to the u ln of e, which is 1 du dx. So therefore, the derivative of e to the u is e to the u du dx. So it's the same, then times du dx. So if it is derivative of e to the x, so the derivative of e to the x is simply e to the x, because this becomes 1 dx over dx. Then we have derivative of e to the u in general is e to the u du dx. Then let's have logarithmic differentiation. Because the derivative of ln is simple, take note, the derivative of ln function is simple. So if we encounter exponential functions wherein the base is a variable and the exponent is also a variable, like y is u to the v, then we use the logarithmic differentiation, derivatives of logarithm, to derive or to differentiate the function. It is not only limited to logarithmic functions. We can also use other functions, algebraic and logarithmic, algebraic, trigonometric functions, to apply this logarithmic differentiation technique. So if y equals u to the v, where u and v are functions of x, so let's have this illustration first. So of course, by direct power formula, if y is x squared, then the derivative of y with respect to x is 2x. Then if we use logarithmic differentiation, then we have ln of y equals ln of x squared. And we write ln of x squared as 2 ln of x as shown. Derivative of ln of y is dy dx over x over y rather from here. And the derivative of 2 ln x is 2 times 1 over x or 2 over x. So dy dx over y equals 2 times 1 over x. Cross multiply, dy dx is y and y is x squared. So 2 over x times y, this is 2 over x times y, y is x squared. It will go back to 2x, which is the derivative of y equals x squared, which is also 2x. By direct differentiation, it is 2x. You might wonder why I use logarithmic differentiation to differentiate that, where in fact it is better to differentiate that directly and we'll have a result 2x. Of course, this is just an illustration. There are functions which are complicated, which can be evaluated by the technique of logarithmic differentiation than differentiating it by using the direct differentiation method. So again, especially for complicated functions, then it is better to differentiate the function by this technique. Now, what if the function is, we have variable raised to variable? So of course, this is the better method, logarithmic differentiation. So if y is u to the v, where u and v are both functions of x, like this one, you cannot differentiate it directly using this method because u and v are functions of x or also variables. So we take ln on both sides, ln of y equals ln of u to the v, and we write this as ln of y equals v ln of u. Then the right side is easily evaluated because this is just derivative of product, and these functions expressed as product are easily evaluated because these are familiar functions. So ln of y derivative is dy dx over y, and we have derivative of product which is v. First, v, derivative of ln of u is du dx over u, plus second, ln of u, derivative of v dv dx. So dy dx over x equals v du dx over u plus ln of u, second derivative of v, of course, dv dx. Cross multiply, dy dx is y, and y is u to the v. Then quantity v over u du dx plus ln of u dv dx. So that's the guide, and this may be the final answer. So anyway, this is just a guide, do not memorize. The more important thing here is you have to apply logarithmic differentiation whenever the base and the exponents are functions of x. So next, let's have derivative of hyperbolic functions. So derivatives of hyperbolic functions. We note that exponential and hyperbolic functions are inverses of each other. So we recall that the definition of cosine hyperbolic of u is 1/2 quantity e to the u plus e to the negative u. Sine hyperbolic of u is 1/2 quantity e to the u minus e to the negative u. Therefore, tangent hyperbolic of u, which is sine hyperbolic q over cosine hyperbolic q, is quantity e to the u minus e to the negative u over e to the u plus e to the negative u. And we now prove or show that the square of cosine hyperbolic of u minus the square of sine hyperbolic of u is 1, or unity. So if we square cosine hyperbolic of u, this becomes 1/4 times quantity e to the u plus e to the negative u square. Then minus the square of sine hyperbolic of u is 1/4 quantity e to the u minus e to the negative u quantity square. Expanding, so this is equal to 1/4 of e to the u, e to the 2u rather, then plus 1/4 of the middle term, which is twice this product, and the product of e to the u and e to the negative u is e to the 0 or 1 times 2, so this is 2 over 4, the middle term of this expansion, binomial expansion. So 1/4 of 2 or 2 over 4 plus 2 over 4. Then the last term is 1/4 of e to the negative 2u. Then we have to subtract. So we have minus 1/4 of e to the u squared, so 1/4 of e to the 2u minus 1/4 of e to the 2u. The middle term is negative 2 e to the 0, or simply 2, negative 2 times negative 1/4, so positive 2 over 4. And the last term is negative 1/4 e to the negative 2u, because we're going to square this, so the sign becomes positive. But the exponent is e to the negative u times 2, so we have minus 1/4 e to the negative 2u. So take note that we can cancel the first terms here. We can cancel this. 2 over 4 plus 2 over 4 is 4 over 4, which is 1. Therefore, the square of cosine hyperbolic of u minus the square of sine hyperbolic of u equals 1. So that is cosine hyperbolic square of u minus sine hyperbolic square of u equals 1. If we divide everything by sine hyperbolic square of u, so cosine hyperbolic square of u divided by sine hyperbolic square of u is cotangent hyperbolic square of u, then minus 1, and 1 over sine hyperbolic square of u is cosecant hyperbolic square of u. So cotangent hyperbolic square of u minus 1 equals cosecant hyperbolic square of u. Then if instead we divide everything by cosine hyperbolic square of u, this becomes 1. This becomes sine hyperbolic square of u over cosine hyperbolic square of u, which is tangent hyperbolic square of u. And 1 over cosine hyperbolic square of u is secant hyperbolic square of u. Therefore, 1 minus tangent hyperbolic square of u equals secant hyperbolic square of u. So this will be the resulting identities for hyperbolic functions. Therefore, the derivative of cosine hyperbolic of u is the derivative of its equivalent in exponential form, because we know the derivative of the exponential functions. So derivative of cosine hyperbolic of u is the derivative of 1/2 quantity e to the u plus e to the negative u. So this is 1/2 quantity e to the u du dx. So we just factor out du dx. Then this one is e to the negative u times negative du dx. So therefore, the result is negative 1/2 e to the u minus e to the negative u du dx. And since 1/2 of e to the u minus e to the negative u is sine hyperbolic of u, and there is a negative sign here because of negative du dx, therefore the derivative of cosine hyperbolic of u is negative sine hyperbolic of u. So that's the result. And therefore, because this is so this is 1/2 quantity e to the u minus e to the negative u du dx, and this is equivalent to sine hyperbolic of u. So derivative of cosine hyperbolic of u is sine hyperbolic of u du dx. So notice that in trigonometry, the derivative of cosine is negative sine x. Negative cosine u is negative sine u du dx. But here, in hyperbolic functions, the sign changes. The derivative of cosine hyperbolic of u is positive sine hyperbolic of u du dx. So because of that, take note that the reciprocal of cosine is secant. The derivative of secant hyperbolic of u would also change sign. And those are only the two functions, hyperbolic functions, where the signs of the derivatives, their derivatives, would be opposite to the sign of the derivatives to their corresponding trigonometric functions. So derivative of cosine, if you can remember, derivative of cosine u is negative sine u du dx from trigonometry, but here derivative of cosine u is cosine hyperbolic of u is sine hyperbolic of u du dx. So positive. The reciprocal of cosine is secant hyperbolic of u. So the derivative of secant hyperbolic of u is negative secant hyperbolic of u tangent hyperbolic of u du dx. Negative because from trigonometry, the derivative of secant u is secant u tangent u du dx. It was positive. It is positive. So those are the only trigonometric functions where the corresponding derivatives of hyperbolic functions change sign. So the derivative of sine hyperbolic of u, using this same format, but I'm just going to write the derivative of sine hyperbolic of u. It's similar to that of trigonometry, so it is still positive cosine hyperbolic of u, du dx. The derivative of tangent is the same, so it is secant hyperbolic square of u du dx. Derivative of tangent hyperbolic of u is secant hyperbolic square du dx. Then the derivative of cotangent hyperbolic of u is the same in trigonometry, negative cosecant hyperbolic square of u du dx. So derivative of cotangent hyperbolic of u, negative cosecant hyperbolic square of u du dx. The derivative of secant hyperbolic of u is negative secant hyperbolic of u tangent hyperbolic of u du dx. As I said, from trigonometry, derivative with respect to x of secant u is positive secant u tangent u du dx. But because this is the reciprocal of cosine, that's the mnemonic aid to remember only cosine and its reciprocal derivatives of cosine hyperbolic of u and its reciprocal secant hyperbolic of u will change sign, just the sign. So therefore, derivative of cosecant hyperbolic of u, you just remember the derivative of cosecant u in trigonometry. So it is negative cosecant hyperbolic of u cotangent hyperbolic of u du dx. So that's the technique. So next topic would be on tangents and normals. So the tangent and normal lines are perpendicular to each other at the point of tangency. So remember that. So the slope of the tangent, denoted by m, is dy dx. Therefore, because for perpendicular lines, the product of the slopes is -1. The product of the slope of the tangent line and the slope of the normal line would be -1, or the slope of the normal line is the negative reciprocal of the slope of the tangent line. That is, slope of normal line is -1 over n. Finally, for the principles on rates of change, this is the other interpretation of the first derivative. So the rate of change of the quantity q with respect to the variable x is defined by derivative of q with respect to x, or dq dx. So these are the principles, and on the next slide, let's have the examples on derivatives of logarithmic functions and exponential functions. So let's have problem 1. Find the first derivative of the following functions. In problem 1, there are 3 exercises. So first, y is log of square root of 2x plus 5. So it's like log of square root of u. So dy dx is equal to, since this is log of square root of u, and it is 1 over u log to the base b of e, where log to the base b is 10, so it's just log of e. Then du dx, the derivative of square root of u is the derivative of u with respect to x, which is 2 in the numerator, and in the denominator, we just copy 2 square root of 2x plus 5. So this is 1 over square root of 2x plus 5 times log of e, or log of 10 to the base e. Then, after that, we have derivative of square root of u is du dx, so 2 all over 2 square root of 2x plus 5. So we can cancel 2, and we have, of course, log of e over 2x plus 5 after we cancel out 2. So it is equal to log of e over 2x plus 5. Then for b, dy dx is equal to, so this is log of u is sine square 4x. So it is 1 over sine square 4x, then log of e, the base is 10, so it's just log of e, then times derivative of u, derivative of sine square 4x, power formula, 2 sine 4x, or 2 sine to the 1 of 4x, so it's 2 sine 4x, then times the derivative of sine, which is cosine 4x, then lastly, derivative of 4x, which is 4. So we write this as log 2 times 4, 8 log of e, then over sine x times cosine 4x. 8 sine of 4x, after we cancel out sine 4x, then there's still sine 4x here. Then log of e times cosine 4x. So simplifying, the final answer is 8 log of e cotangent of 4x. For part C, this is implicit functions. So ln, so 1 over xy squared, this is the u. Then the derivative of u with respect to x is derivative of product x times quantity x times 2y, y prime. Then plus second term y squared times derivative of x, 1. Then equals derivative of xy, derivative of product, which is x times y prime plus y times 1. xy prime plus y times 1. So simplifying by distributing, we have 2y prime over y plus 1 over x after we distribute this inside the brackets, terms in the brackets, then equals xy prime plus y. Factoring out y prime and combining with this, so we have 2 over y minus x times quantity y prime equals y minus 1 over x. So 2 over y minus x quantity times y prime equals y times y minus 1 over x. Simplifying, this is 2 minus xy over y times y prime equals xy minus 1 all over x. So y prime therefore is y quantity x minus y all over x times quantity 2 minus xy. So that's it. So 2 minus xy over y prime equals equal to this, same as this. So therefore y prime is, as I said, y times quantity xy minus 1 all over x quantity 2 minus xy. Then for problem 2, we have find the first derivative of the following functions. So we have first y equals y equals 5 to the 3x. So dy dx, this is in the form a to the u. So the derivative is a to the u ln of a du dx. So 5 to the 3x times ln of 5 times derivative of 3x is 3. So 5 to the 3x ln of 5 times derivative of 3x, which is 3. And we rewrite this as equal to 3 ln of 5 times 5 to the 3x. Then we rewrite further 3 ln of 5 from property of logarithms as ln of 5 cubed, then times 5 to the 3x. Since ln of 5 cubed is ln of 125, so that would be equals ln of 125 times 5 to the 3x. We proceed to b. This is y equals e to the u, where u is cosine 2x. So dy dx equals e to the u, e to the cosine of 2x, times the derivative of u. Derivative of cosine is negative sine of 2x, times derivative of 2x, which is 2. So therefore, the answer is negative 2 sine of 2x times quantity times e to the cosine 2x. Then part C, I'll present two solutions to this. So the first solution is that e to the ln of 4x is the same as 4x. E to the ln of 4y is the same as 4y. So therefore, this part C can be written in the form 4x plus 4y equals 1. So differentiating 4 plus 4y prime equals 0. Then we divide everything by 4, so that would be 1 plus y prime equals 0. And therefore, y prime equals negative 1. Y prime equals negative 1. Then, the second solution, we just evaluate derivative of the original terms. So, this is e to the u. So it's just like e to the ln of 4x. Then the derivative of ln of 4x is 1 over 4x times derivative 4x 4. So e to the ln of 4x times quantity 1 over 4x times 4. While the derivative of e to the ln of 4y is e to the ln of 4y times quantity 1 over 4y times 4y prime. Then derivative of 1, of course, is 0. So we write this after we cancel 4 as e to the ln of 4x over x plus e to the ln of 4y over y times y prime equals 0. So e to the ln y prime is equal to y prime times e to the ln 4y over y equals negative e to the ln 4x over x, which is that. So simplifying, y prime is negative y e to the ln of 4x all over x e to the ln of 4y. So y prime is negative y e to the ln of 4x over x e to the ln of 4y. Then we write the equivalent of e to the ln 4x as simply 4x, e to the ln 4y is simply 4y. Therefore, this becomes negative y times 4x over x times 4y. So we can cancel 4, we can cancel y, we can cancel x, we canceled everything. Therefore, what is left is negative 1. So y prime is negative 1.